Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Jackie, and I am forever faithful. Thank you so much for joining me. I was just sitting here, like so many of us, just waiting for a breakthrough, whether it be for health or finances, relationships, etc. And I just recalling the last time I had a huge breakthrough. I get breakthroughs often, but this one was really big, and um, how I either denied or ignored the signs before the breakthrough came. Now, I was in a situation where um, I was in a relationship that was going nowhere and had been in it for several years, and I just wasn't happy. During this time, before the actual breakthrough, I had surgery earlier, and then a couple of months later, the relationship ended, and I moved into my own place, recovering from surgery and trying to figure out, okay, what am I going to do for money, right? I was definitely in a place where I couldn't go get back into the workforce, and I didn't even know where I would want to work. You know what I mean? Um, but I couldn't. So it was like, okay, what I'm going to do. And I was in a position where I couldn't even really turn to my family or friends at that time for any help. So I was really on my own. It was just God and I. But some of the signs that I either denied, ignored altogether before the breakthrough was God was showing me people that really didn't have my best interests at heart. Let's say I was dating a narcissist. So it was all about him or whatever. I also had a friend who was probably, as long as I had known him, was always in some financial distress. And I would often help this person over the years, right? But I didn't see that this person would always self-sabotage themselves when it came to money or opportunities to make money, right? But I didn't see a lot of this until after the fact. Now, some of the signs I noticed was I needed to end that relationship. I needed to distance myself, not necessarily distance myself from this particular friend, but I needed to set up some new boundaries, in a sense, distance myself, but, at least stop helping them financially as I had done, so many years prior. I also noticed other things where certain people just didn't communicate as often as they used to. It's kind of like God was removing them out of my life without me even having to do anything, right? And oftentimes we become comfortable with people and situations and circumstances, even though we still may be uncomfortable in it. We have found some level of comfort in the discomfort. But some of the signs, were really from people. It could be something as someone saying something that resonate with my spirit. It could be someone or a total stranger. It could be hearing something on TV or the radio. It could be, seeing numbers a lot, or hearing an audible message, or even having visions, or even animals often bring signs. But the key is actually paying attention to it, noticing it. We all know most of us have or have had some low-key haters in our lives. It could be family, friends, co-workers, whatever. But yet we tend to keep them around. But pay attention to those people, because they truly don't want the best for you. And when your breakthrough is coming in, you don't want to have those type of people around you. Okay? You just don't. And see, we often find ourselves in an emotional turmoil because we're in conflict of what we know we need to do, things that must happen in order to receive the breakthrough, but we will allow our old ways to hinder our progress. It will hinder us receiving our breakthroughs. And another thing is like, hey, believe people when they show you who they are. And I do know that at times God will allow your breakthrough to come in for you so you can see clearly who's for you and who's not. And other times God will hold back the breakthrough until we've taken action, guided action, right? To remove these people or things out of our lives, right? And the thing is to remain flexible mentally, because when you are receiving a breakthrough, it's not usually going to come in the way that you want or the way that you expect it to. So it's great to remain flexible in your thoughts and your thinking and your body as well. And I say that because, as an example, you could want to live a certain lifestyle and God is calling you to move to a whole nother state. You want this, nice house. Well, it's in another state. Well, that means that you're going to have to pack up where you're living now and move, right? So that's going to require more physical stamina for you to do that. So just try to remain flexible. Okay, just try to remain flexible, because I can tell you it's usually never going to come in the way that we expect it. Okay. Other times, we see the signs. Our instincts, our spirit, our soul is speaking to us, but oftentimes we've been trained and brainwashed to ignore our spirit, to ignore those instincts, that gut feeling, that sometimes it's just automatic, that we do things without even really thinking about it. We just do it. We ignore it. We deny it, right? So I'm going to tell you what happened briefly about what happened before my breakthrough. Like I said, I was, ended a relationship. I was recuperating from surgery, and I was not working. So I was in dire straits, seriously in dire straits. But I prayed a lot. I just prayed a lot. And what happened one evening, I fell asleep on the couch. I had a candle lit on the kitchen counter, and I just happened to wake up, but I saw a flame out of the corner of my eye, and I'm like, I didn't leave any. What's going on? And I looked, and the little tea light was literally caught. The whole thing was on fire. It actually started to burn. It actually started to burn my kitchen counter, right? And I was like, wow, that is odd. That is so odd. But I didn't know it then, but I know now after the fact that God was letting me know that was an attack from the enemy, literally trying to burn me up, because the enemy knew what was coming. The enemy knew the breakthrough was coming. So it was just trying to take me out before it came, right? And then, I had the surgery, right? Like in March. And then by August, September, October, like everything I had, the tumors I had removed in March had actually grown back, several of them. And not only that, they were even larger than they were before. And doctors was like, this is odd that, that you just had surgery literally several months ago, and they've grown back, but they're even larger. God showed me that after the fact. That too was an attack, because that landed me up in the hospital for a month. And this was, anyway, that's a whole nother story. But my whole point is that the enemy was literally trying to take me out any way that it could. And And I was like, okay. And so, you know, I ended that, my relationship had ended, and he came back begging me to take him back, and I did. But I knew my spirit was like, no, 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 you've been there, done that. He's not going to change. Things aren't going to change. It's just going to be the same. And it was. So, all right, so the breakthrough comes in. Unexpected, out of the blue, and it was way more than I imagined, right? So then I was like, okay, all the bills are paid, the debt is paid, right? I'm good. Now, one mistake I made was sharing my breakthrough with the person I was in a relationship with, but I knew that this person really didn't have my best interest at heart. I regret that, sharing my breakthrough with him, because he wanted to know exactly how much. And I knew he wanted to know how much because he wanted to know how much he could spend. And he did. He tried to help me spend my money. Well, maybe we can buy a house together. Maybe we can start a business together. My whole thing was, no, you do your thing. I do my thing. I am keeping everything else close to me. Right? I'm not going to let him know anything. And this is, you know, hindsight. It should never be with anyone that you can't truly trust, period. In a relationship, intimate relationship, or friendships, or even relationships with your family. If you don't trust them, leave it. Just leave it. Anyway, and also what I should notice is that the friend that was always self-sabotaging himself, was still in constant need of money, right? A need of help financially. And I was doing that, about $5,000 when I totaled it up after the fact. And I was like, you know, this person really didn't even appreciate all that I had done. Even though I was going through my own stuff, I was still there for this friend, right? But God had been showing me all along, all they do is take. All they do is take. Out of the 20 years of friendship, how often have this person, this friend, has been able to help me out, right, when I needed it? I can count it on one hand out of 20 years. So God was showing me that this isn't, these people can't go with you, right? So I'm just saying that the signs are there if we pay attention to it, right? And oftentimes we want these breakthroughs, but are we really prepared for it? Are we really ready to let go of those relationships and situationships? Are we willing to research and get the education that we need in order for our breakthrough to come through? Like if we're asking for, you know, to win the lottery, and if it's $100 million, honey, if you can't manage 100 or 1,000, you probably ain't gonna be able to manage 100 million. So it's like, are we really ready for what we're asking for? Are we prepared to receive what we're really asking for? And when it comes to breakthroughs of all types, you really have to get yourself ready for what you're asking for, you know? It's just the bottom line. And you have to pay attention to the signs. Just have to pay attention to the signs. It's just like, oh, I want a new house, but you got all the old furniture in there. The furniture is tattered and scattered and smelly, right? It's like, no. New house, which is a new way of being. Get rid of the old furniture, which is the old way of being, so you can receive the breakthrough that you've asked for. Okay? So I just wanted to stop by and just, you know, encourage you, you know, that one, God will always give you what you need, and it will end up giving you a lot of things that you want too. But it's really about being obedient, paying attention, hearing the voice, and paying attention to the signs. And most importantly, your instincts, your gut, your spirit would never leave you wrong. So I'm not saying that this is an easy road, but if you want what you really want, then you're going to have to do what is necessary to get what you really want. It's just the way that it is right now. Okay? So I'm not saying that it's easy, but it is. I can tell you for sure, it is absolutely well worth it. Removing those people, removing the situation, whatever it is, it will absolutely be well worth it. Okay? So until next time, take care of yourself. Bye.